Hello to everybody out there. The screen's not the best, is it? Let's see if we can do something with that. Du-du-du-du. Mm. Hello. Hi, hope everyone's okay. Yeah, sorry about the picture quality. I'm not sure what's wrong with it today, to be fair. Don't know what's wrong. Yeah, don't know. Apologies if you can't see me that well. If you want to come on and chat and type anything, feel free to do so. Ask your questions about Sunday um, against Sunderland, how I feel about things, how I feel about the transfer market going into it. If there's anything else that you want to ask, please go ahead. Yeah, if there's any shout outs that you want to do. Again, this is All Things Sky Blue, presents In My Opinion with. I don't know if anybody's. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I don't know what happened then. I don't know what's gone on. Hope everyone's okay. Good evening, Glenn. Hope you're well. Glenn says good evening. Oh, can't join the gloves as recording the show with Watford podcast. Oh, okay, fair enough, buddy. He has asked a question though. He says, "What's your thoughts on a quiet week so far, transfer wise? Any concerns that we won't be bringing any more people in?" Well, Robbins has said that he wants kind of still at least four, I believe. So yeah, it is a little bit hard, to be fair, Glenn. I kind of expected us to bring at least one or two in by now, even if it's not the four. But I would imagine they're working behind the scenes really, really hard to try and bring somebody in. It's just difficult, isn't it? This time of year, you don't want to necessarily bring somebody in for the sake of bringing it in if they're not going to offer much. Really, obviously, I know Kitchen's been still being linked with us. So yeah, it's hard. Hiya, Danny. I hope you're okay, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Danny says apparently domestic player close to signing, European player not happening. Okay, fair enough. Domestic player, have we got any ideas who that might be? Again, Kitchen, I know that's been linked with us. So yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because we've got to find a replacement for Hamer still. I know Danny doesn't want to mention Hamer, but we do need to sort of talk about the replacement to a certain degree because we still haven't got anybody in. I've mentioned before on our Twitter space that we do on a 9 o'clock plug. That I think Casey Palmer could do that role personally, and then we need another number 10. We've got Sakamoto that can play that 10, and we've also got obviously O'Hare to come back. Might be a call, to be fair, to maybe play Godden or Hadji Wright as the number 10 and play all three strikers up there. That's an option. Good evening, Oliver. Hope you're okay, Oliver Fox. Thoughts on Casey Palmer rumours? I think it's just people talking. I think it's press talking. I don't think there's anything in it. I think with the big players that we were going to lose in terms of Hamer and Vic have gone. They've gone. That's it. I can't see any sort of main people coming on. Bear with me 1 minute, guys. I am still here. I'm just going to turn the light on. There we go. That's better. Oh, bloody hell. It's getting dark outside a lot earlier now. Right, apologies for that, guys. Hello. Just before I carry on with the questions, this is All Things Sky Blue presents IMO, in my opinion, with Stuart. And this is All Things Sky Blue. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, obviously YouTube channel as well, which you can like and subscribe to if you do like what you hear and what you see. We do a Twitter space on a Sunday at 9 o'clock to review the game and to look forward to the next game as well. So on here, feel free to ask me any questions on Cov. We're getting a few coming in now. Hector's come on. Lewis O'Brien, and he's also said he's the sort of player we need. Yeah, I think Lewis O'Brien would be an ideal Hamer replacement, in all honesty. He's the type of player that will get stuck in. Not necessarily he can score goals. We know he can score goals, but yeah, he puts a foot in a little bit. I think he'd be the player again. Look, we've got Eccles who's playing really, really well, and we've also got Sheaf. Sheaf does do more of the defensive side of things, if you like, really. But I don't want to say Eccles has kind of got to step up because he's playing really, really well, and I like what I'm seeing this season. And he finished off the same last season. Whoever comes in is kind of going to be taking his place, and I find it hard really for him. But look, he's got to step up. They've got to start shooting outside the box for me, really. They have to start making sure that they are, having efforts at goal, even if they're saved. They've got to be on target. You've got to make the keeper work, haven't you? But yeah, most definitely, Lewis O'Brien is definitely the sort of player that I'd like to bring in. Danny's also said Elliot Anderson and John Joe Shalvey possible signings. Kitchen still being chased. Yeah, I've mentioned Kitchen already. I think we have still been linked with him. Elliot Anderson, yeah. Shalvey now is an interesting one. I think he would be on a lot of money, but I'd take him. If it was a choice, though, I think between Elliot, Shalvey, and O'Brien, I think I would take O'Brien personally. I think he's the right fit. I think he's the right age. I think somebody on here might be able to tell me how much. How old Anderson is. I think Shalvey's, getting on later 20s, early 30s. I think again, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Hector also says, I like KP, but not sure he will get us into the playoffs. Well, KP, Case has been playing. He's been the link, hasn't he? With the tricks and the flicks and the step overs, and it's all looking good and promising from him. And I think if he can keep that form up, I know and I think Danny has said it on our Twitter space before. At the minute, he's only really playing 60, 65 minutes, 70 minutes. It's hard to, we need a 90-minute man, don't we? The amount of times that O'Hare was, dug in, and he just pushed us on, and he played that 90 minutes continuously every single game. And we don't necessarily get that from Casey. I think we will. I think he will, play 90 minutes. I think he can. I think he's just trying different things, isn't he? At the 65, 70-minute mark. But I think if we kept Casey on personally on Saturday against Sunderland, I think we might have won it. We could have won. So you never know with Case, because I think he has got that level of ability. But obviously we've got yes, I forgot about Yasinari, the Brighton lad who can play that number 10, and he slipped a couple of balls through to Haji Wright when he come on as well. So look, it's promising, but I still think we need that midfield at the moment. Just seems like it's one player off being a really good side and a really good squad as well, because we have got we are starting to get that strength in depth, which is looking really, really good as well. Hadders 666. Hiya, Hadders 666. Hope you're okay. He says, sounds like O'Brien off to Borough, unfortunately. Yeah, I have heard that we are we're sort of second in the running, I think, or third in the running, because I know Leeds are around as well. But yeah, I believe we are being pipped with O'Brien to Middlesbrough, which is a shame. But like I said, I'd take Keshi. Elliot Anderson. I'd take Shalvey as well if we needed to. Danny's also said, O'Brien, Borough 30k a week out of our wage structure. Yeah, if we're not going to, again, I don't want to mention his name, but if we're not going to pay Hamer the potential, what was being spouted around it being 25k, we're not paying that. It's we're not going to be paying 30, are we? Let's face it. So Danny's also said, what do you think of Laurie Gate? Well, if I'm honest, Dan, I haven't really seen much of it. I've been at work obviously all day, and I haven't really been on my phone too much, so I haven't really seen it, in all honesty. So I will try and catch up on that one, and hopefully on Sunday on our Twitter space, I'll be able to say a little bit more on that. But I haven't really seen much of it. Hector's also said 30k is clearly too much. Yeah, it is. We've even though we have got a little bit money, we can't be silly with it. We've got to make sure that we spend it on the right money and paying the right wages, because when you go over that threshold, everybody just starts coming in and wanting that sort of money and says, why I ain't getting this and why I ain't getting that. And it's harder to keep that squad balanced and happy. I just think it's too much, really. We need to be looking a bit more sensible, I suppose, really. Danny's also come on and said, can you see more leaving? Yeah, I think now, to be fair, I think there might be another loan out as well as more. It's getting, look, we've got 2 days left, I think it is, before the transfer window ends. I think there's going to be, normally, we're fairly quiet at the end of the transfer window. I'm not saying we're going to be one of the busiest ones, but I think we might be. There might be a few more ins and outs coming in and out. Hopefully there'll be at least 2 coming in, but we'll have to wait and see. Hadders 666 has said, don't want to see us panic. If we need to wait till January to get the right player, then so be it. Players out of contract in summer will become cheaper in Jan. May just have to make do till Jan. Yeah, I agree to a certain extent, but I think, if we'd kept Hamer, this is all lips and buts and whatever else, but if we'd kept Hamer, then I would have said, yes, we can do that. We haven't. We've lost him. So I do think that we need at least 1 to 2 players to come in, because you don't want to get to January and you're 15, maybe 15 to 20 points off playoffs. You're langering in mid-table. You don't want that, really. Not with the money that was spent already on Ellis Sims, Haji Wright, Sakamoto, Milan. I know De Silva was free, but we don't want to be doing that, and I don't think we will. I think, like I've said it before, we're definitely a top 8 side for me, 100%. We can't fall backwards. We need to make sure that we're signing quality. I get wait until January, but if that player's there now, I would rather do it than try and maybe get him on a little bit cheaper in January. I kind of get it, and I think that's where maybe the loan market might come in January. You might see maybe 1-2 loans in January come in to help us out and push us. Hopefully, if we're in that playoffs, hopefully push us for that automatic position. But look, I wouldn't turn my nose up now at a playoff position. I think we're a top 8 side, like I said. I think we will finish, touch wood, that we will finish in that top 6. But, we may just this year slightly come out of it. But I'm still hopeful, and I still think we will get to that playoff place. Hi, Danny again. Still talks of Bidwell going. I don't see Bidwell going. In all honesty, I think he's gonna stay. I think we need cover for that left wing back position. I know Sakamoto can play there, but we haven't really got anybody else. De Silva is playing brilliantly, and it's his to lose most definitely. But we've got to make sure that we've got that cover. And Bidwell is a consistent, like he was last season. His consistency is brilliant. I don't see him going anywhere, in all honesty, unless they bring somebody in that can play on that side as well. I don't see it. I don't see him going. In all honesty, I hope he doesn't go because, like I said, he's Mr. Consistency. He was brilliant for us last season. And it is a good guy to have around. But he also covers that that left-sided centre half position as well. If we don't sign somebody else, so he's covered for there as well. So his versatility in playing left wing back, left centre back, or even left full back if we have to change positions for whatever reason. I don't see him going. I really don't. Hector again has said either way, we now have our own players and only 2 loans in. Better for next season. Yeah, and they're on long contracts as well, aren't they? They're on 3, 4, 5 years, and it's I think most fans would like to turn around and say that their club has got too many loans. We had 5 last season, 6 last season, something like that, I think, off the top of my head. Which is good because Nottingham Forest went up and they had, their full allocation of loan signings when they went up. So it does work, but yes, I would much prefer to have, maybe 1 or 2 loans like we've got now and make the rest up as our own players. I think that's what we should be doing and what we should be looking at. But look, if the right person is available to have on loan, then I'm happy for that from a Premier League club, whoever that may be, Chelsea, with the links that we've got, and other people like that. So look, it's we're definitely going in the right direction with the permanent signings and fewer loans, which is good. Oliver Fox, hi Oliver, hope you're okay. Do you think we'll make permanent signings or loans by the end of the transfer window? I think there'll be permanence because I think Robbins has already come out and said he's happy with the loans that he's got, and most of them, I think, if I'm right in saying that they're going to be permanent signings. If they're not, it doesn't necessarily bother me. I'm quite happy. Trust the process. Trust Robbins, AD, Doug. I'm happy. I'm happy to have 5 loans if that's what needs be. Even if it's till a loan till January, and then they go back and then see where we are in January. I wouldn't. It's always nice having them to the end of the season, isn't it? But I wouldn't turn down, a 6-month contract to a really, really top player. I'm happy with that as well. Danny, what do you think of Howley's loan? I like it. I like the fact that he's gone out on loan because I think he was going to struggle to get into the side, just because he was, pre-season he was being played out of position. Obviously, at the time we still had Hamer. We haven't now, but we're starting to get see the comeback of O'Hare and Tavares and Kelly and Allen. We've still got these players as well, to come in and cover. It's central midfield, even though we're saying that we need, maybe 1 or 2 midfielders. Allen's not back yet. O'Hare's not back yet. We still need that quality, because when they do come back, I think we'll have a really good squad. Um, but I would prefer to have seen Howley go to a League One club like a Lincoln, where Burrows has gone to, or somewhere like that that's top end of League One, to show what he can do in League One. You know, you look at Waghorn. Waghorn. 2 seasons, I think he scored 2 goals, and one of them was a penalty. And then he goes and bangs in a hat trick. If Ryan Howley at his age could go to a Derby or go to a Lincoln, or and stand out in that league, that he's good enough. For me, that he's good enough for the Championship. And it's just going to take time to bed into the team and the way that they're playing at that particular moment in time, and things like that as well. I think it's a good move, because there's nothing wrong with the Scottish League, but I would have preferred him to stay in League One personally, and go to a club in League One, just because it's still in the English league, and he's having the rough and tumble of playing in League One. That's just my opinion. I would have preferred to him to stay over in England rather than go into Scotland, but it's still a good education. Jack Burrows did it, beforehand, the two brothers. So yeah, it's I don't mind it, but I would have preferred to see him in staying somewhere in England. Also said, squad is 3 less than last season. Will be 4 with more going. We need 2 to 3 minimum. Yeah, like I said, I think Robin's come out and said that he wanted at least 4. Again, with 2 days, there's going to be a lot of to-in and throwing coming, and people being linked, and there's going to be a mad rush. And Robbins won't do it anyway. I know he won't be rushed. I know he'll be happy with what he's got. If he can add, then I think he will. But I still think we need at least 2. You might find that 2 come together tomorrow, or maybe even Friday, to get the 2 in, and maybe a quick loan deal at the end or something like that. I don't want it to go into late hours, with an hour to go, 2 hours to go, and they're still backwards and forwards saying, we're still linked with him. I want the people through the door, and I suppose Robbins does as well. It's just hard. Hadders 666. The trouble is, are the right players available now? Well, yeah, that's what I've said exactly. Does seem we've missed a few targets, which will always happen. Just don't want to waste the Heyman money. You can only spend it once. Yeah, you can. But if someone, for instance, if Palmer, kicks on and kicks off like I think that he can do this season, he could be worth 10 million, 10 to 12 million quite easily. If he's being a little bit more prolific in front of goal, getting the assists, getting the goals, he could easily be 10 to 12 million. If we sold him next year, that's another 10, 12 million that we've got to a squad. We don't have to sell anybody else, and the money's there that are being generated by, hopefully again finishing 6th, hopefully win the Premier League. You just don't know where we're going to be. But I agree with you. We can't waste it. We've got to make sure that we are getting the right players in. And like I've said before, I'm sure that the scouting network that have done tremendously well so far for me, I just think that they're working really, really hard, and we have missed targets. For me, Jerry Yates was probably the one of them that we missed out on, striker wise. Just because I think he would bang goals in, and I think he will bang goals in. Maybe less now. Perot's gone to Leeds. People that know me and listen to Twitter, I am a big fan of Joel Perot from Swansea. Now at Leeds, I think he is. He'll score goals. I have no doubt about that. And there's a lot of teams out there now that are getting good squads together. Hull, Birmingham. It's going to be hard, but I've got no doubt that when we're on our game, if we put away half the amount that we created against Leicester, you know, we'll beat most teams personally. It's just going to be interesting that if Fads gets injured, uh, who goes into the centre? Is it going to be Latty? Is it going to be Thomas? And then Binks comes in. I'd like to see Binks playing a little bit more at the moment, just because I know he scored 2 goals for the under 21s. And I think he's going to be a good player. He can ping a ball with his left foot. It adds a little bit more balance on there, but I don't want to lose Latty out of the side because I think he's brilliant. And Thomas has been good. The only criticism that I've got of Thomas really is sometimes his loose passing. He's got to. If he shored that up, then Thomas would be brilliant as well. But for me at the moment, Latty is just head and shoulders. He's absolutely brilliant. I think he's ace. Excuse me. Hector said, uh, yeah, sorry, thoughts. Thoughts on best midfield three, assuming we play with 2 strikers, O'Hare, Sheaf, and Ari. Well, Sheaf's definitely in there. That's a hard one, Hector. That I need to see more of Ari first, if I'm honest. So at the moment, I'm going to go Sheaf, O'Hare, and Palmer. I don't think you can get rid of Palmer, just because I would probably have him ahead of O'Hare, in all honesty, just because he's slightly bigger built. He doesn't get shoved off the ball too easily. If he could play, look, if he was playing 90 minutes at the moment, I don't think there'd be any question. I think Palmer would be first name on the team sheet. But because he's not playing 90 minutes and he's only looks like he's seeing 60, 70 minutes, he's not. He could be an impact player. Palmer, put him on for the last half an hour and just let him run at the defence when they're tired, because I wouldn't want to be running. I wouldn't want to be defending against Palmer or O'Hare, to be fair, or Harry. Look, they're all 3 of them are quality. All 4 of them are quality. And I'm just glad that I haven't got to make that final decision on who plays. But I want to see a little bit more from Harry. Don't necessarily disagree with what Robin said. I kind of understand. I didn't see him walking at all, but I think he just needs to put himself a little bit more when the opportunity arose. He maybe just stuck a leg out and they got past slightly. So he just needs to make sure that he's running a little bit more, really. Oliver Smith, hi Oliver, hope you're okay. Do you reckon we will get Kitching because the Barnsley manager said he's not for sale, but Andy Turner says we are still after him? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because I think, going back to what Danny said about Bidwell, if we got Kitchen in, then Bidwell could potentially leave. Just because then we've got cover that left wing back, that left centre back position. And then he can play Sakamoto if De Silva gets injured. I would like to see Kitchen in all honesty. I think he's a good defender. I think he's solid. And he's got a good left foot as well. But again, you've got Binks there. I'm just not sure that Kitchen will come in. I think with Binks there, I think we've got enough. We need a left cover for left wing back if Bidwell goes, but that's why I don't think he will go, because I don't think we've got that cover. Geordie, hiya Geordie, I hope you're okay. Hello mate, big me up. There's your big me up, Geordie. I hope you're well. Feel free to make any other comments if you want to come on. Hadders666, do you think the 3 strikers we have are enough? I'm sure Wright and Sims will come good. Do you trust the youngsters, i.e., Abiqua, Tavares, etc., to make the numbers if one of the three get injured? Tavares is coming back from a bad injury, just like O'Hare is. I would like to see Tavares go out on loan in January, again to a League One club. But if he does go to Scotland, because I know we like taking people over there, then that wouldn't bother me. But I would prefer him to just stay in England, get again a bit more rough and tumble in England. They're both, they're both hard leagues, but we want him to get used to, playing Championship and League One football potentially. I would like to see Tavares go out on loan just because he's going to be coming back from that injury. Abiqua, again, I think, I know he scored for the under-21s. I still think that we need one more, personally. And then, if one of them four then gets injured, then you've got Abiqua to come on. I would like to see one more, whether that's a loan from a Premier League squad. Then that's perfectly fine. Just because he's been playing Premier League 2 or Premier League under-21s. I just think a little bit more experience playing that kind of league, really. I would like to see. The honest answer is I would like to see one more. They are good enough. I think Sims will come good. Look, with Godden not scoring at the weekend, I think you might find that there's an opportunity to start Sims and Hadji together. If Godden had kept on scoring, if he'd scored a goal, then you can't take Godden out. And Godden for me is probably still the best finisher that we've got at City. But I just think now, you might find that there's an opportunity to play Sims and Wright together and rest Godden and have Godden as an impact player coming on. That's the strength and depth that we've got, that we can afford to do that. And we know Godden's injury prone. I hope he isn't. Again, I'll touch wood, because if you keep Godden fit, and he'll score goals all day. But I think him, same as Fads as well. I think they both might be due a rest. You might find that Binks comes in, but we'll have to wait and see. Excuse me. Danny says, Kitchen is down tools. The deal's happened for me. Okay, fair enough, if that's what you think, buddy. Again, like I said to you, like I just said a minute ago, if Kitchen comes in, then Bidwell could possibly go to... excuse me a minute. Bidwell could go to Preston or wherever. It might only be a loan for 6 months, and then see where we are with maybe a deal for a recall option or something like that. We'll live and die in these towns. Good evening, hello and welcome. Hope you're well. Thank you for coming back, buddy. He has said, have a feeling there'll be another signing or two in the next couple of days, as centre-backs and a box-to-box midfielder, hopefully. Yeah, me too, especially the midfielder. Look, like I said, with Binks there, we can't forget about Binks, in all honesty. And we've got a couple of good defenders coming through as well. So I think we're okay. If Kitchen, like I said, if Kitchen comes in, I'd be happy with it. I'm not saying I wouldn't. Any good signing is a good signing, and I'll take anybody. But the midfielders for me is the one that we need probably. Jag, excuse me, I might not be able to pronounce your surname properly. Jag Juiti. Hi mate, hope you're okay. For me, we need a centre back. Andy Turner still thinks that we're in for Kitchen. Yeah, a lot of people still do, buddy. A big box-to-box central midfielder. Turner says a few plates spinning, but looks like a domestic player and a forward as a loan, maybe. Yeah, like I just said, I'd be happy with a loan signing from the Premier League coming in. I'm happy with that. Midfielder, yeah, definitely one of them as well. We'll have to just see who that is. We live and die in these towns, as said. He hopes that it's Jesse Bosch. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that apparently that deal's nearly done. Not sure how true it is. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. Jags also said this 3 players in, and we have massive flexibility with the squad, and it will be great going into the season. Maybe a top up in the loan market in January. Yeah, I mentioned that a few minutes ago. To be fair, mate, just maybe going on, not rushing into the end of the transfer market this one, and then in January, reevaluate it and have a look in January. And like I said, loans are more likely in January, just to maybe get us, to the end of the season. Look, hopefully again, touch wood, that no injuries happen, but if another big injury happens to somebody, we need to make sure that we've got cover, and the loan market's a perfect way to do that, isn't it? So yeah. Thanks for coming on again, everybody. Just to let people know, we're not finished. So if you've got anything else to say, please come on and do so. I just want to mention Lucy Summer, who next year will be running for charity. She's got a GoFundMe page, which is on at All Things Sky Blue. You should be able to find the link somewhere in there. If you can't, just message me and I can send the link up again. She's running next year, Lucy Summer, for a guy called Josh, for a friend called Josh, who's suffering from a life-threatening condition. So please donate all you can, and that's much appreciated. We live and die in these towns. I'm still hoping the box-to-box fielder is Jesse Bosch. Yeah, we can all live in hope. Yeah, we can, mate. That's right. Jags also said, what is a must? We need that box-to-box player, somebody to replace Gus. The rest we can cover and make do. Yeah, look, you're never going to replace Gus, because Gus was, if not the best player, best midfielder in the Championship last season. That's why he's gone to the Premier League. You can't replace him, but we can try, and it might take 2 people to replace him. But like I said to people earlier, for me, I think Eccles has started really, really well. He just needs to add, or Sheaf just needs to add them goals, because that's what Gus did. Gus just stepped up and he took shots, and we know Sheaf can do it. We've seen Eccles score goals. Palmer needs to step up. When O'Hare comes back, he'll need to step up. The other strikers, Fads has scored, but we've got to make sure that we're trying to score from every opportunity. Obviously, Milan and his throw-ins now that we've got. Bobby Thomas with his throw-ins apparently. Obviously, we've only seen Milan surprise us against Sunderland, but it's another bow in our armour, isn't it? So we just need to make sure that we're see again. Look, I'll go back to throw-ins because they're a bugbear of mine. For me, we just don't move enough. We don't have enough options when we have throw-ins. We're kind of just stationary, and it winds me right up. And just don't look for the easy ball. If no one's running, if no one's making a move, just throw it down that line. Let it get a flick on. Let Godden get a flick on, or Hadji get a flick on. Hadji's a tall guy. Sims is a tall guy. Let them flick it on and let the other one run on after it. Don't look for the easy ball and then get caught with and give away a cheap throw-in and things like that. It does my head in. Throw-ins. We're just not inventive enough with them. I see loads of other, you watch the Premier League and you watch other teams, they're moving for the ball. I just think we're stationary too much, and it's a perfect opportunity to just get the ball down, especially now with a long throw as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on Saturday against Watford. So hopefully they won't be ready for. They probably will now. They know, but. Hopefully we can catch them out, like teams have caught us out in the past as well before. We live and die in these. Jag. David Rish. Hi, David. Hope you're okay. What's up? What's up with you? Hope you're well. Jag said, Thoughts on Doug so far? Uh, Thoughts on the mess with the kits and season tickets delays? I'm sure it will be sorted next season. Yeah, look, I think it's. I think Doug's. Well, to answer your first question, I think Doug's done really, really well. Is the honest answer. He's listened to the. He's listened to us. You know, he's listened to the fans. He's changed things when he's needed to. He's stuck by his guns when he's needed to. You know, he's lets Robbins. You know, have money. We've spent. You can't really go wrong. Yes, you know, the season ticket debacle. You know, I'm one of the lucky ones. I've got my season ticket and I've got my home shirt. You know, I've got them both. You know, I've had no issues. I know other people have, and I do feel sorry for them and the people that are still waiting for season tickets, and especially their tops that they've pre-ordered. You know, because the new shop's opening. I believe it's tomorrow night. The launch. You know, the new kit, the new away kit's going to be in there. You can buy them. Why pre-order something if it's not going to be ready and available? You know, before games. You know, before the start of the season and things like that. It's hard. It's hard. I think that can be done better, and I think it will be done. Like you just said, I think it will be done better next year. Um, but it's just frustrating now, isn't it, for fans that haven't received them? Like I said, I'm one of the lucky ones that I've received both. Uh, you know, within the time frame that they said I'd get them. So I can't look. I can't argue too much, but I understand why people do and why people have. It isn't fair, and it does need to be sorted. And I'm sure it will. I'm sure we'll see, you know, everything a little bit better. But one step at a time. Look, we've invested in the squad, invested in Brighton. You know, things have got missed this time around, but I'm sure it will be a little bit better next time, hopefully. We live and die in these towns. Will be interesting to see what happens with Gus if Sheffield United get relegated this season. Still think the move to Sheffield United wasn't the right move for him, but who am I to judge? Yeah, well, who are we all to judge? You know, he wanted to play Premier League football. He deserved to play Premier League football, and he's definitely got the quality to play Premier League football. So you can't look. You can't whether you think it's the right choice or wrong choice. You know, it's a Premier League side, and they stumped up the money. Um, you know, with Henderson going, you know, Liverpool could have done with him. In all honesty, he would do a job. He'd do a job for anybody, and I'm going to say top six side as well. I'm not saying that he'd get in the side week in week out, but he would be great for cover for a top six side. But Sheffield United, Fulham, um, Burnley, you know, whoever else, Wolves, you know, whoever else is in and around there. The only place I wouldn't have wanted to go is Everton, because unfortunately I think they're doomed, and they're coming straight back down. Sheffield United and Luton might as well, but Everton for me just aren't looking good, and it's a shame. They're a big club, but you know, for whatever reason, it's just not working for anybody that goes there at the moment. So it's hard, but like I said, you know, who are we agreed to decide where he goes? Danny's come on. Thanks, Danny. He said bang on with a reference to throw-ins. Danny's also said O'Hare was great at being an option to receive from throw-ins. Yeah, because he moves, and that's what I don't get. Nobody else moves for some strange reason. It's just stationary, and it bugs me every time that we have a throw-in. But yeah, you'll hear more of that if it happens on Saturday on our Twitter space on Sunday night, because I'm getting sick and tired of it doing my head in. We've got to move more and want the ball. It just seems like nobody wants the ball. Oh yeah, don't. I've got to stop talking about that now because I'm getting a bit annoyed with it. Jag, he agrees. Loving Doug. Got a great deal for Vic and spent money. Issues happen, but the main thing is he invested into the squad and fixed that and fixed the window at Ryan. I presume you're on about. Yes. Yeah. Look, for me, he hasn't done anything wrong. You can argue maybe things are a bit more expensive, but to reinvest, you're going to have to put the money into to reinvest. You can't, you know, we can't live off pittance and expect to have caviar. You know what I mean? So we've just got to make sure that we are spending the money wisely, especially towards the latter end, because normally Robbins is normally quite quick on the uptake, isn't he, on getting the signings in early. At the moment, it's becoming later and later, and as fans, we just want things done and dusted, don't we? I do, especially. But yeah, he hasn't done much wrong for me. Alan Arkins, hello, buddy. Hope you're well and okay. Thanks for coming on. He said, as much as I like Eccles, I don't think he is good enough to run the midfield for us now that Hamer has gone. I think with a few games under his belt, Ayari will be good, will become good. I'm going to slightly disagree with you because I think he is good enough to run that midfield. For me, he just needs to shoot more because when he shot against who did Godden scored against Leicester, didn't he? Just remind me. I'm sure he did. And he had that shot, and that's where it went in. Oh no! It wasn't. It was. Oh, someone come on and tell me, please, because that's going to do my head in because it's just gone out of my head. Fad scored against Leicester. I know that. And then we had. Was it Swansea? I think it was Swansea, weren't it? Oh, I can't remember. Somebody come on and tell me. Tell me who Eccles shot and it went through, and Godden flicked it on and it went in. It was the first home game of the season. I can't even think who that was. Please come on and tell me. Alan's also said, I'd like to see Hadji start against Watford on Saturday. Oh, Middlesbrough, thank you, Hector. Thank you, Alan, Oliver, Danny, Middlesbrough. Thank you. I've completely went out of my head. Completely. That's annoying. Yeah, Middlesbrough. Thank you. Going back to Eccles, I think he is good enough. Like I said, he needs to shoot more. But like I said before, so does Sheaf. We know Sheaf's got a good shot in him. We know that Eccles can shoot and can score. They just need to do it more often, and that's when we might see a few more own goals or flick-ons like Godden did, or Hadji might get on the end of them. Like as I've said before, I can see now Godden hasn't scored. I can see Hadji Wright and I can see Sims starting together on Saturday, and I think Godden may be on the bench. Whether you think that's fair or not, because he is the top goal scorer, I don't know. I just think that we need to start seeing something a little bit different. Hadji's a little bit quicker, a little bit more direct. He's the closest thing probably that we've had to Vic, that likes to run them channels with the ball at his feet and take players on. He's got the strength to do it. And with Sims in there, getting the ball over to Sims, look, they might link up better. I'm not saying that Godden can't start because he deserves to start. Like I said, he is top goal scorer, but it's that decision, isn't it? What do you actually go for? It's a difficult situation to be in, and I'm glad I haven't got to make it. I'm glad it's down to Robbins because he normally makes the right one, to be fair. Alan's also said, I'd like to see Hadji. Oh, sorry, I've said that one. We live and die in these towns. That's what I'm saying. He could get into any mid-table sides as opposed to struggling Prem team. And I think Sheffield United are in that category. Yeah, they probably are, to be fair, mate. But he just needs to make sure that that he's scoring goals and he's working hard. Like he did against a good Man City side, and they were kind of unlucky, really. But Rodri scored that good goal. Hector agreed. Alan, Ari will be the player we need. Okay, a lot of love for Ari at the moment, which is good. I would like to see Oliver Fox. Hi, Oliver. I would like to see a box midfield with Hadji Wright up top. Yeah. Well, I went to meet the players last night, with Hadji Wright and Liam Kelly at the Tavern, and he actually said he prefers to play with another striker up front, and not necessarily on his own. Not to say that he couldn't do a job on his own if he was asked to do so, um, but who would you be playing as the box midfield? Obviously, Sheaf, Eccles, Palmer. Who are you playing Palmer with? If you want to come on and let me know that, Oliver. I would imagine that you're going to say Sakamoto or O'Hare when he comes back in. But I'll be interested to see what you say, if anybody else. Alan's also said, I think Eccles is a bit lightweight. He can be easily pushed off the ball. He needs to work out a bit more in the gym. Yeah, somebody else has said that to me as well, to be fair, when I've been speaking to friends and stuff, that he needs to maybe put a little bit more muscle on. But you could say that about Sakamoto, because I thought he got, a lot of people, he was player of the match for a lot of people against Swansea. I thought he got bullied a little bit, if I'm honest, and he's a little bit lightweight, same as O'Hare. I know they're number 10s. I know they're not playing in that central midfield role. But I think Eccles is probably slightly bigger than them two, in all honesty. He's just not as big as Casey or Sheaf or Hamer used to be. But look, I think he could do it. I really, really do. I think if he pushes himself a little bit more, he could really, really do it. And I hope he does. He's one of our own, so let's make sure that we get behind him and don't give him a hard time if he does have a bad game or things like that, because everybody does. So we just need to make sure that we're doing it. Hector come on and said Sheaf could run the midfield. I think he could be a 20 million player easy. Needs confidence in game time. Yes, to the 20 million pound player. But I think he's oozing confidence, and I think he's probably apart from Casey, apart from the back three, Wilson, his fourth, fifth name down on the team sheet, if not the first. I think he's brilliant. He's completely proven me wrong, and yeah, I think he's easily worth 20 million. Again, to be a 20 million pound midfielder, you've got to start scoring. And again, Sheaf, Palmer, O'Hare, they at the moment they're not scoring enough. That was O'Hare's downfall. The amount of chances that he had and created for himself was just unreal. He didn't put them away, because if he had, he wouldn't be at Cov. In all honesty, because he was that good. When he was before his injury, he was that good. All he needed to do was score, and we would have had another 20 million pound player on our hands. And I hope, touch wood again, I hope he comes back the same player, because as Jody Jones will probably tell you, and you'll probably see, it's not always that easy. He had three of them, but he's doing brilliantly at Notts now. And I wish him all the best, and I just wish he wasn't injured at Cov, because again he was another bright talent that could have gone a lot higher. It was just unfortunate. Had a 6-6-6-6. I agree. We are trying to score the perfect goal against Sunderland when they could have just shot. Going for that extra pass slows things down and gives the defence chance to recover. Yeah, totally agree. We have got to start shooting a lot more from, just inside the box, the edge of the box, instead of looking for that one pass, as you said. Again, it's just frustrating because look, you shoot and you never know what happens. If you don't shoot, you don't score. Whether it's an own, I don't care whether we score 50 own goals. If you don't shoot, you don't score. We've got to make sure that we're starting to shoot a little bit more. Jag said, hi Jag again, Eccles for me is a good player, but I have a lot more defensive and reserved than Gus. Ari and his new superstar central midfield we are buying will be the two to take Gus's place. Yeah, I feel Eccles and Sheaf fighting for a spot. Oh, that's interesting. Um, no, I disagree with Sheaf. I think Sheaf's nailed on personally, unless this new midfielder comes in and is amazing. Um, I just don't. I don't think you can necessarily take Sheaf out the side at the moment. I think they're fighting for Eccles' place. I think Eccles is fighting for his place personally, just because we've got Hadji and we've got Sims and we've got Godden. I think we're playing two up top more often, unless one gets injured and we're down to the bare bones striker wise. You might see a box midfielder come in then if we do get injuries in that department. But if we don't get injuries and they're fit, then I think he's going to play a two more often than not, personally. Oliver said Sakamoto to be the box midfielder with I presume Palmer. Yeah, we live and die in these towns. Look, Sakamoto for me he's good and I like him and he'll get people off their seats. He's just got to play the game a little bit better, like O'Hare used to do, because they're a similar build, similar model, and he's just got to be a little bit cleverer for me. Like I said, I thought he got bullied at Swansea, and he was not overrun as such, but I just think that there was times when if he'd not gone down, then the referee the next time would have given him a free kick because he would have realised. And I think he was just going down a little bit too often, maybe. Look, I'm not saying that it didn't hurt or he wasn't fouled, because the referee that game was awful anyway. But, you've got to be a little bit clever. You got to choose your battles wisely, as they say. We live and die in these towns. Might get shot down for saying this, but I think Alan coming back is as near as important as O'Hare coming back into the squad for us, as Alan, in my opinion, is our modern day J-Tab work rate. Work rate 100%, yes. I just think Alan, with the midfielders that we've got at the moment and the possibility of more coming in, I just think that Alan's going to see less game time. We haven't got to rush him back, which is good because of the quality that we've got. Because I do want to see him come back fully fit. And a good fully fit Alan is a great option off the bench because he links play brilliantly as well. But O'Hare coming back, he just links the play a lot neater, tidier. He was the most fouled player when he played. He was a lot more cleverer. That's what Sakamoto needs to do. He needs to be like an O'Hare and be a little bit more smarter in getting these fouls. But yeah, look, I like Alan, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily as important as O'Hare, but he is important. He's important to the squad, just like Kelly is. Kelly's not going to probably get the game time that he might want, but he's been, when he comes on, he's been brilliant, and I think that's what Alan will do for us as well. Jack just said, sorry, my point was Sheaf and Eccles would be fighting for a spot. Sheaf will get that spot. If he had a bad game, then Eccles will be in there. Same with Ari and this new central midfielder. I'm still not sure they're fighting for the same role. Look, you might be right, Jag. You might be right if if that player does come in. I just think Sheaf is pretty much nailed on, and the new midfielder that comes in will be fighting for Eccles, and Ari will be vying for that number 10 spot behind Casey. For me, there might be an opportunity for him to come in and play, that that midfielder role. I can't see it, if I'm honest. I think he's playing for that number 10, that Harry, when he comes in. But I think Chiefs nailed it. They're fighting for Eccles' spot, personally. Sakamoto, Alan said Sakamoto is a winger, and I think Eccles is better out wide too, rather than in central midfield. With the squad we'd have, I'd prefer Sheaf, Ari, and Palmer in the middle, and Hadji and Godden up front. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, definitely. Excuse me. Yeah, I can. The thing with our squad now is the fact that we've got versatility all over the pitch, which is brilliant. But it makes life harder because you don't know who plays better in what position. But yeah, look, we still don't know what this Harry is like. We've seen a brief cameo for 10, 15 minutes, and he was good. Don't get me wrong; he played some good balls through. I just need to see more of him for longer, just to see what he actually could do. Look, I don't see him in training. Look, like I said before, Godden, is the best finisher that we've got, and Hadji, is the closest victor that we've got. But like I said before, it might be a call for Hadji and Sims to come on and see what they can do together. God hasn't scored now, and we need to, we're creating. We've just got to put these goals away, and it might be a case that Hadji and Sims is that link to do it. Jags also said Sheaf, Eccles, and Kelly was our central defenders, Ari our new central midfield, and Allen as our box-to-box, plus O'Hare, Palmer, Sakamoto as out central midfield is a perfect midfield. Sheaf, Eccles, and Kelly was our CDMs. Ari, new central midfield, and Allen as a box-to-box, plus O'Hare, Palmer, and Sakamoto. Right, okay. Is a person right? Okay, so you're looking at the strength in depth. Okay, yeah. Again, I still don't think Eccles and Sheaf. I've got to disagree. I don't think Eccles and Sheaf are playing for the same spot. I think Eccles is vying for the with the Allen with the Sakamoto possibly. But look, Sakamoto gives you so much versatility, doesn't he? And like I said, it's good to have versatility, but again, with that much versatility comes that you might not know your fully strength squad. That's all I'm saying. Hector says, realistically, with all these new players, when do you think we will gel as a team? Yeah, it's going to take. I'm not going to say it's going to take ages. I'm not saying it's going to take, November, December. We as Coventry City play better when we have got a constant run of games, and that's what we've got. And we haven't conceded in the last. I think we conceded one in the past 2 games. We're keeping clean sheets, and we're creating chances. And with that comes, I think, the goals. We just need to convert them. And you might find that we do that again. Nobody expected us to, walk over Middlesbrough and beat them 3-0. But we did. No one's probably expecting us to do anything against Watford, even though they have got a poor away record. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful of and confident of a City win. Don't know whether it will be 3, might be 1, 1-0, 2-1, somewhere around there. We live and die in these towns. Please tell me that there's no truth in Fabrizio Romano's tweets regarding Casey. No, I don't think Casey's going anywhere. I think we've lost the main 2, like I said, that we're going to lose. and I'm not saying that we're happy to lose, especially Hamer, but they've gone. We need to move on, and we need to look at the players and just get behind the boys that are there now. So, thank you very much for coming on. Those that have come on and sent me questions, it's much appreciated. Brilliant. Thank you very much. I do these every other week, so I won't be doing this next week, but I'll be doing it the week after. So again, thank you to Hector, thank you to Jag, thank you to Danny, thank you to We Live and Die in These Towns. Much appreciated for coming on. Again, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We do a Twitter space at 9 o'clock to review the game, which will be this Sunday. Please come on. Any questions that haven't been answered here, feel free and come on and ask us questions on there. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated if you do like what you hear. Just a couple of last little things. Hector said, play up Sky Blues. And We Live and Die in These Towns. Great show as always. Play up Sky Blues. Danny White, play up Sky Blues. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for tuning in if you did. Much appreciated. Play up Sky Blues and see you soon. Thank you.